Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing you how to get the perfect summer look if you're going to a picnic. I wanted to come up with a look that would be really pretty and summery and dewy and colorful, but would also stand up against really hot summer heat. Now, I know that the first thing that's gonna fall apart when you're sweating is your makeup, so I wanted to give you guys a few tips and tricks that I use to really help when I'm gonna be outside and I'm gonna be sweating a lot. Now, of course, when you're sweating and you're outside, this isn't a sweat-proof look, meaning it's not going to totally prevent you from sweating. It just means that it'll survive even if you do sweat. So it's not going to look absolutely perfect afterward because no look really does, but it'll look really close to perfect. And that's really all we can ask for. But I love the idea of picnics during the summer, going to a park, and right now that's really one of the things that hasn't been totally shut down, is going to a park and just eating something outside. So it's something that you can probably do where you are, and if you can't, you can even just do it in your own backyard, which is absolutely lovely. But there's something so classic and pretty about a family or a couple going out to a park, putting out a blanket, bringing some food, having a little picnic basket. Oh my gosh, that is a dream of mine. I still don't own a really cute picnic basket, but at some point in my life, I would really like to own one because I just think that they are so pretty, classic, and adorable. And so just the idea of doing your makeup for a specific thing, like going to a picnic, is something that I like. I know that when I was using YouTube a lot for makeup tutorials, I would search things like specifically. It wasn't just summer makeup, it was summer date night park makeup, you know? And people don't always put that in the title, and I just think it's nice to have a specific look for a specific event. I hope you guys like today's look, so let's get into it. Okay guys, so let's get started with our skin. So the first thing you should always do in the summertime is put on sunscreen. I talk about this all the time, but it's really important. Whoa! I use this as my moisturizer in the morning. This is a sunscreen from Aveeno, and it's a Protect Plus Hydrate, so that's why I like it as a moisturizer, and it's SPF 50, so I really like this stuff. It also doesn't break me out at all, and it's just important to use sunscreen every day, no matter what the weather is like, because it's just going to prevent skin cancer as well as prevent your skin from getting wrinkles as you get older. Of course, we're all gonna get wrinkles. So that's not to say that this is going to prevent you from getting wrinkles altogether, but it does slow down the process a bit. So you'll start off by putting this on and then wait maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes for it to kind of sink into the skin a little bit. And now I wanna go in with my primer. So I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Primer. If you want your makeup to stay all day, it is important to kind of start off matte because you're gonna get sweaty, like that's just gonna happen. So for me, if you start off using really dewy products, especially a dewy base like your primer, it can stay, but it's more rare for it to stay because as you get sweaty and dewy, your skin is already dewy and then you're just really dewy. And I just think it's better to start with a matte base. That'll stay all day. I really like this primer. It's non-comedogenic, which means it won't break you out, and it also prolongs the longevity of my makeup. Next up, I'm gonna go in with my foundation. Now, I recommend going in with any foundation that you like, that you feel like has a good wear time. This is a new one I've never tried. This is the Hydro Boost Hydrating Foundation Stick from Neutrogena. Let me tell you why I wanted to get this. So I have a foundation stick from Wet n Wild, which I really like, but I don't know if it breaks me out a little bit, and I don't like foundations, obviously, that break me out. So I use that one kind of rarely, sometimes when I really wanna look good on camera, because it's a great foundation for that, but I don't like to use it every day because I don't know if it breaks me out. But using a stick foundation is so fast. I love that it takes me almost no time to get my foundation on my face. So I was looking to see if there was another foundation from the drugstore that was a foundation stick, so something that was a little bit more affordable. This is Neutrogena, so it's not that affordable, but A, it's non-comedogenic because Neutrogena is really good for your skin no matter what you buy from them. And number two, it's hydrating, which I do really like, and I feel like for an everyday foundation, that is great. So we're gonna try and see if it looks good. If the rest of my makeup falls apart because of this foundation, hopefully that's not what happens. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw this on my face. And I'm just gonna blend this in with a blending brush. So I'm gonna go in with a second layer because that first layer was very light coverage. and hopefully I can get just a little bit more coverage this second time. Now, what do you guys normally use to blend out your makeup? I'm very curious to know if you use a brush, or if you use a sponge, or if you use a powder puff. I am curious because I normally use a damp sponge, but I've been getting into using brushes a little bit more lately, and that's, I think, part of the reason why I was interested in finding a foundation stick, because I really like the feeling of using a brush and I like how fast it goes. Okay, so what I'll say about this foundation from my first experience with it is that it is a light coverage foundation that you can build to medium. I wouldn't say this is a full coverage foundation, but if you're spending your day outside, you might just want to even the skin and not have like a full mask on. So having just that light coverage might be perfect for you. So it really just depends on your taste, but I like it so far. But it kind of looks like I don't have anything on my skin, which I like, and it is a little bit dewier, which is pretty over a matte primer and will prolong the longevity of your makeup because you have that matte primer and the dewy foundation. But I do have a few blemishes that I want to cover up a little bit more than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer and I'm just going to cover these little spots up. How has everyone's summer been going? I know, of course, we all have the caveat of the fact that it is COVID and we can't really do as much during the summer as we normally would, but I would love to know if you are doing anything fun, if you're spending time with family, if you have a pool. Oh my gosh, if you have a pool, you are so lucky and I am jealous. And just if you are trying to enjoy this summer despite the fact that things are just a little bit different this year. I know that I love the summer, even though this has been a very different summer for us. I still love that it's summertime, that I can go outside for walks, that Jacob and I can spend the evening out and about, and I don't have to bring a jacket. That's like my favorite thing ever. And I'm just enjoying and taking in the summertime. I think this is something maybe that's bred in us from the time that we're kids, that summertime is the time for fun because that's when you're off school. And even though as adults we don't get that, we still feel that. So I just love summertime. But moving on to the next step, I'm going to do my concealer. I'm gonna be using this same Charlotte Tilbury concealer that I always do because this is just really the only concealer I use right now, and it's really like the only high-end product that I have in my collection. So I'm just going to tap that in my dark circles. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of building up this cream base. And once we set all this down with powder, that's what's gonna make it last. If I didn't set this down, this wouldn't have the same longevity that I would hope it would, and it wouldn't stand up against that summer heat. Okay, so now we're done with the cream products with our base, and so I'm gonna set everything down, and setting things down is what is going to make it last. So using a loose powder or using a pressed powder is what's going to give you that longevity. So I'm going in with my number 7 translucent finishing powder, triple action. And I have used this in most of my videos lately. I'm just gonna go in with that same concealer brush that I used to conceal my blemishes, and I'm just gonna go underneath my eyes and set that down because that is, for me, the first place where I'm gonna get creasing from my concealer. As I've said before, I'm gonna get creasing no matter what I do, so it's not like that's gonna change anything, but it does keep it from getting super awful. And so I'm just going to tap that here and on my lids just to make sure I don't get creasing on my lids either. And then I'm gonna go in with just a big fluffy brush and I'm gonna set down my whole face. Now let's move on to blush, bronzer, and highlight. So I'm gonna be bronzing first. Now I'm gonna be using a powder bronzer, but it's shimmery. When we're out and about and going outside and enjoying the hot weather, it's nice and natural to have more of a dewy finish. Now, again, what I was saying before is that you wanna have that matte primer to keep you from looking really sweaty, but the dewy look on your face, which can come from powders, is something that's going to look very natural in summer because it's not natural for your skin to look uber matte. So using a few glimmery, shiny products in the summertime is like the best time to do it. And if you're out on a picnic or you're enjoying a day out at the zoo or the park or something that's open, then you might really enjoy using more of a shimmery bronzer or a shimmery blush and things that make you look a little bit more dewy naturally, because like I said, in the summer, it's more natural for you to be dewy. So I'm gonna try this. Again, this is another new product. This is the Essence Pure Nude Sunlighter. And this, I'm gonna go in with this brush here, and I'm just gonna tap into this, tap off the excess a little bit, and then go in here. And I want it to be a little bit more shiny. I'm not looking for this to be an intense contour because, hey, it's a day at the park. It's a day where you're hanging out with family and friends. And so you don't need to be really contoured here. It's really more just about having like a pretty summery look. Well, this blends beautifully. And this looks actually pretty natural. I think it's really pretty. And I'm just gonna put some on the sides of my nose. A little bit just kind of messily here because the sun is going to hit you messily in the summer. Next up, I'm gonna go in with the blush from Essence again, and this is a really cheap product. It's amazing. And I'm just gonna put this right on the apples of my cheeks. And it's okay for you to be a little bit rosier because it's summertime. Your cheeks are gonna be rosier in summertime, and that's a nice thing. And then I'm gonna go in with my highlighter. So I'm just gonna take this highlighter from Wet n Wild. It's the Hello Halo highlighter, and I'm just going to kind of mix these two shades together, tap off that excess a little bit, and then go on the high points of my cheeks, and even onto the apples of my cheeks a little bit, just so that it's, again, that really natural, fun, pretty glow. Down the nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow, bring some above the eyebrow, just splash that shimmer everywhere. It's so nice outside. So let's celebrate that with our really shiny, glimmery faces. So now that we've got the skin done, we're gonna do the eyes. I wanna do something that's pink and pretty and not too intense because you're gonna be with family, you're hanging out. It doesn't have to be a crazy intense eye look, but just something kind of fun and summery. I'm gonna be using this Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Decadent Collection eyeshadow palette, and I'm just gonna go in with some of these shades. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to go in with the color Sienna here, and I'm going to tap into that on just this kind of fluffy brush, and I'm going to put that in the crease and sort of just windshield wiper motions and circular motions and just really blend that. And I'm not trying to be too careful here. It's okay if it looks a little bit messy because we're not going for perfection. Next up, I'm gonna go in with Lavish. That's this color here. Tap that in the same exact spot just to bring a little bit more pink to the eye look. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little pencil brush and I'm gonna go in with Lavish again. I'm gonna bring this into the inner corner of the eye here, because we're gonna do a halo eye today. And I'm just gonna take that same shade on the bottom lash line. It's a pretty easy look, honestly. We're just using, I think, 3 shades, maybe 4, and really just kind of like blending it. And then I'm going to take the shade Glimmer here on my finger, and I'm just going to put that right in the center of the eyelid. And the last shade I'm gonna use from in here is I'm gonna go into Majesty, and I'm going to take this on the inner corner and on the brow bone. Now to finish up the eyes, I'm going to take this Kokie Color Lasting Creamy Eyeshadow, and it's number 7. I'm just gonna take that on my finger, and I'm just gonna put that right on top of that middle portion of the eye, just to put a little bit of extra sparkle. And before we finish up the eyes, I'm gonna do my eyebrows, and then we're gonna spray everything down before doing mascara. So to do my eyebrows, I'm gonna do what I always do. You guys have seen this a million kajillion times. But I'm just going to fill in any spots on my brows that need a little bit of extra love, which for me is just right at the top corner, and then bringing it out a little bit. And then I'm just gonna hold everything in place with my CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow. Now to make sure everything really holds, I'm going to be using this Lasting Fix spray from Maybelline, and this is really what's gonna make sure that your makeup stays. It's kind of this sandwich effect with the primer and then the spray, and that just kind of keeps your makeup lasting all day, through the sweat, whatever. So we're gonna shake that up. I grabbed my little Disney fan, Minnie's on there. And now I'm going to finish up the eyes by putting on mascara. So before I put on mascara, I have to talk to you guys about this eyelash curler. So this is like a cult favorite. Everybody talks about it. It's the Shiseido eyelash curler, and it is a little bit expensive, but it is amazing. Like, it does an incredible job, and there's a reason people talk about this because it is so, so good. So the way that I think about kind of the price is that it's $20 around, and if you buy it once, you really don't ever have to replace it. So it's a good purchase rather than like an eyeshadow palette or like a mascara that's $25 and you have to replace every 3 months. This is just a one-time purchase. So I love it, and I'm gonna show you how great it is. Do you guys see the difference? Like, this one is like, whoosh, and this one is, and for me, my little trick is that I actually curl my eyelashes on one side and apply mascara as soon as I do it before doing the other side, because I wanna make sure that curl stays as long as possible. So now that it's curled, I'm going to apply my Maybelline mascara. If you're the kind of person who sweats so much that wearing a normal mascara might not be the best fit for you, there are 2 options that you can do to make sure that your mascara lasts. One is to use a waterproof mascara. That could be a solution for you. And then the other is to use a tubing mascara. A tubing mascara won't come off as easily when you sweat. So those are the 2 options I would recommend if you find that you have a difficult time keeping your mascara on when you're sweating. But if you don't have that issue, I think it's fine for you to just use a normal mascara. The other thing I'll recommend is to avoid lower lash line mascara, because if you are going to be sweating a lot and your under eye gets sweaty, then that's gonna be the first thing that's gonna show. So maybe just don't do it if you're gonna be going out to a picnic or something, and then you don't have to worry about it. So last but not least is lips. I'm gonna be doing a kind of reddish lip today just because I think that'll be a little bit fun. But the best way to keep your lipstick lasting all day is to put on a lip liner first and then to put on a liquid lipstick. And that will definitely last all day, even if you're at the park, even if you're at a picnic, and even if you're sweating. So I'm gonna start off by putting on this lip liner. And now I'm gonna go in with the lipstick itself. This is the Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild, and it is the color Behind the Bleachers. And that's the finished look. This is exactly what I would wear if I was going to the park on a hot day. Obviously, it's a little bit fancy, it's a little bit colorful, but I feel like for summertime, I'm totally on board with that. And it's got that really pretty kind of glimmer and gleam, which I like for summertime because it kind of shows how you would be doing naturally. And if this is too many steps for you, feel free to leave out whatever you feel like is just too much. But the 3 things I would really recommend if you're planning on doing something outside when you're gonna be sweating is a primer, a translucent powder, and a setting spray. Those 3 things will really prolong the longevity of your makeup and make sure that you don't sweat through it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of today's look, if you would try something like this, and if you would wear this to the park, or what you would wear to the park, your favorite summer looks. Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Head over to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and follow me there. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. Hit that like button. Please head over to classicallyabby.locals.com if you'd like to support my channel, see more of this content, and be part of our community. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!